Alrighty, we are starting a few minutes late, but still starting, and we are live from Columbus, OH. And this is answering your financial
Shopping for tires used to be a
questions. Let me mute the ad.
few minutes
And
late, but still.
so we got good audio, so we are all good here. All right. Hey, I'm still old. All right. Oh, so you know what's fun about this? I just thought about this when I looked at the shirt on the on my view of the stream. I often make a point that I don't care about cars, and that's a lot of people do care about cars and they want to spend a lot of money on them, etc., etc. And I don't. I want to, as cheaply as possible, get safely from point A to point B. I don't, need all the bells and whistles. I don't need a newer vehicle either. And so I don't care about vehicles, but I do have a Corvette. What does it say? Heartbeat? Yeah. Chevrolet Plant, Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I have this shirt because don't care about cars, but did care about my in-laws, and they got this shirt for me, and so unfortunately they are not with us anymore, as we all will not be with the people still living at some point. So didn't mean to get that, be bummery about that. That's just where the conversation went. My train of thought went there. But basically since people know that I don't really care about cars, so why does he have a Corvette shirt? And that's why. Alrighty. Oh, that's right. We're doing the answering your financial questions stream. You're watching it on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach, and you can find my financial stuff after the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist. You'll see the Ramsey Show after show, which there is one tomorrow morning, Wednesday the 16th. Yep. Wednesday the 16th. Was supposed to do one on Monday. Thought I would be doing it, but I ended up going to work early. And so there was no after show. Answering your financial questions, that's this stream. There's that playlist as well. And today is episode number 155. And the music playlist, there's 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there, such as Did You Ever Think That Just Maybe You Belong Debt Free? So, and if you listen to that song, if you watch that video and listen to that song, both Taylor Swift and I will split like 0.00001 cent or something like that for that, and I'll put that with the rest of the money I have, and she'll put that with her billions, and I'm sure that'll make her very happy. Let's get into some questions. 401k advice, and as you can see with the dots right here, that means that it is not all on this main page. And so I can't remember how they did it before, if it was all on the main page or if you had to click it to another tab or window anyway to open the whole thing. I can't remember how it was back then, but since then they have made it so that it's about this long. No matter how much they type, it only shows about this long, and then there are the dots there. And so I already opened it up, having noticed those dots, and let's see how long it is. Not that long. I think we can read this. 401k advice, the What Would Dave Do flare Now, the people that I absolutely love, and I'm being sarcastic about this, is the people that use the "what would Dave do" flair. This is not mods or anything like that. The subreddit mods assigning this. The person writing the post picks this. So put "what would Dave do" there, and I've seen the "what would Dave do" there. And then also in the question or comments or whatever, that says, "Yeah, I know Dave Ramsey's advice is but I want to know what you guys think." So nutty. People are nutty. But maybe this person actually wants to know what Dave would do, and I will be happy to tell you. And if it's ever a case where I don't know exactly what Dave would do, or I mean, I guess at any given point he could change his mind about his whole advice, but I would not count entire advice catalog, but I would not count on that. So let's say reasonably sure instead of no for 100%. This is a long one. That's what she said. And I could really use some advice. 29 female, been with my husband, 32 man, for 6 years. Married for 1 year. We have had a rough year and a half. Sorry to hear that. Lost my job in March 2024. In the insurance industry, we were then relying on, forgot to clean my glasses again. We were then relying on my husband's income to get by. I was applying anywhere and everywhere I could, and no interviews or interest. It wasn't until the end of July of 24 that I got offered a job in the insurance industry again, and I took it. Okay, March, April, May, June, July. That is just 4 months, and now the way you were making it sound was a lot more than that, but I'm sure you would have rather got to work right away, as most people would, not necessarily for the work part, but for the getting paid part. Let's see, industry again, and took it, insurance industry again. Husband lost his job of 9.5 years in February of 2025. Oh yeah, okay, that does suck for your last year and a half. I understand. A BS reason, really. The HR person involved is being investigated. Oh, I already read this, I think. Yeah, I already read this and I didn't realize it. What was the gist about it? I can't remember. So they both were fired for BS reasons, and you gotta wonder if it's just one. I might give them the benefit of the doubt, but both of them getting fired for BS reasons, that sounds like there could be some capping involved, as the kids say. Anyway, started a new job on Monday at my mom's insurance agency. Here's the dilemma we're having. He has to do something with his 401k from his job of 9.5 years. He doesn't have to, actually. He could leave it there if he's not worried about the company going out of business or something like that. Or unless for some reason they are making him do that, or if that's just the way they run their businesses. They are like, well, you got to roll it out, because you got to roll it over to something in your name, and we don't want to be associated with you anymore, or something like that. But you can leave it there, so it's not a thing like you absolutely 100% have to do it. And I would say you guys have, more important things to worry about than this if you don't have to. But the idea would be to not to take any. See, if you're talking about you're gonna pay off the car or do anything like that, you're gonna have to pay taxes on the gains on that, and also a penalty. I believe you don't get to if you get separated for a job, get fired or something like that, you don't get a free cash out for your 401k. So it would have to be rolled into another like either an IRA or another company's 401k, in order for there not to be a tax event, you can also roll it into a Roth IRA. But then there will be a tax event because in the 401k, you didn't pay taxes on the contributions. And in Roth accounts, you do have to do that. So you would have to pay taxes on the contributions there. And again, if you are talking about cashing out to use the money, there's going to be penalties as well. Not only you're going to pay tax, as I said, from a 401k, you're going to be paying tax on the gains, and then also there's a penalty because he's not retirement age. So all of this, everything you're thinking about is wrong here, and none of that should be done. And put their ass either in a Roth IRA or a gold IRA. Okay, no gold. And the Roth, again, you would have to pay. That creates a tax event. You could roll it into a regular IRA and not have any, not create a tax event right now. But again, from a regular 401k and a regular IRA, you do have to pay taxes on the gains when you take those withdrawals in retirement. So yeah, I did do that one previously on answering your financial questions. Did I do the 5-year house plan? I did. I think planning on putting 20% down regardless to avoid that. Oh, the person is only going to stay in the house for 5 years, so that's a no. You don't do that. Buy a house where you're going next and where you want a house. In a financial hole, what should I tackle first? And that would be baby step 0. I know I previewed this one. I don't think we did actual cyanosis. We did the actual entire questionnaire. So let's see. I need help knowing what is best to do first and foremost. Oh, 26K a year. I did this one too. I apologize. And this is just not enough money. You need more income than that, even in Missouri, as the old say. Sell my apartment and pay off my mortgage. Yes, because you should not. And again, I already did this one too. I apologize so much. But yeah, this is sell your apartment that you're renting out as a rental. And he did pay cash for that, so that part's great. The part that's not great is he did that before he paid off his residential mortgage. You have to be on step 7 before you do that. There's no investing or starting a business that takes a lot of cash outlay while you still have a mortgage. You have to pay off the mortgage first. I don't know what a mortgage is, or what I think about Muggle, maybe Harry Potter. But you have to finish step 6 and be in step 7 before you start doing any other investing. Like I said, in any type of business, any business property, rental properties, you pay off your home mortgage first. And of course, that's not the financial bro way of doing things, of course. Should I sell my car? 5K difference to get out of the payment or hold on to it? Yes, and the answer was yes. Replacing car. You don't have to. You can change cars anytime you want to. And you are keeping another car. Oh, this person wasn't making enough money to keep both cars, so that was the answer on that. Everything you own that has wheels and motors in them or on them, all that combined, that amount needs to be only half of your annual income, and that person didn't do it. Investing in early age versus baby step order, and again, people love to do it wrong, so that's a no. Baby steps adjusted for Europe. Hi there. I was wondering how baby steps would look for a European where universities are free and there is a fair pension benefit. Yeah, I talked about that as well. And the short version of that, if I can do a short version answer, it's difficult for me. I like to talk. That's a no. If you have student loans, the first thing would be if you have not taken out student loans, then if you're going to follow the Ramsey advice, you do not take them out. I don't give a crap if they are forgiven after you make 30 years of payment. That's a no. So, but even if you had taken them out, you would still pay them off in baby step 2. I don't give a crap if they are forgiven if you make 30 years of payments. Yeah, so that's a no, and that's the Dave advice as well. You pay off your freaking student loans. The things that would be different is like tax laws, and the investment accounts would be called something else in European countries. But the basics of the Ramsey advice still are the same everywhere. Do you consider yourself financially literate? Good question. Savings matter 79574. I'm 21, well, turning 22 tomorrow. Okay, that was 6 days ago. Happy belated birthday. But I've been wondering, do you think you're financially literate? Well, I think I'm grammarly literate and spelling literate, because YOUR is your, meaning this is your car, for example, or your dumb post on the subreddit. It shows possession. You are, the contraction for you are is spelled YOU apostrophe, which you find in most contractions, I think all of them, apostrophe RE. And let's get that down. That's a third grade thing. Hashtag third grade. Let's everybody be smarter. So be literate in that. I want you to know, get that down first and then worry about being financially literate. Let's see. I know I might not be one to talk. I grew up in a well-rounded area that is considered to be financially strong, but curious to know how you guys were taught money or how to keep track, grow it at least. I know some people, my parents didn't teach me anything except they role modeled taking on debt, and they said way more often than I care to remember that you'll always be in debt, you'll always have a car payment. And they were incorrect about that. I know some people use apps like Rocket Money, Monarch, etc. I personally use Wallet Wise since it has a more minimal, clean UI, makes me feel less anxious. Is this just a commercial for Wallet Wise? Curious to know what everyone does or how you learned. Hey, let me ask you this, sir or madam. Have you heard of Dave Ramsey? You somehow ended up on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, so maybe you've heard of Mr. Ramsey. How about you read his books? And some of the people on his show, their books. And how about you watch the Ramsey show? How about you Google Dave Ramsey on YouTube, or you just go to YouTube and do a search on Dave Ramsey and whatever it is that you don't understand, and then there's probably a video on it. You could also go to RamseySolutions.com, their website, because there's a bunch of like blog posts / articles on, again, any financial matter that you can think of. And so, but this, is this a commercial for Wallet Wise? I'm wondering. And, I'm planning to do it. I've said it way too much. If so. Hyper, though. Mortgage. I know Dave is for 15-year fixed rate mortgages, comma. Okay, so there should be no comma. There should be nothing after that. It's, I know Dave is for 15-year fixed mortgages. And so that should be it. That's what you should be doing, but it's a free country. And it's fine. You earn the money. And it's your life. You have to live it. I don't have to live it, so I don't give a crap if you follow the advice of Mr. Ramsey. It's the best thing for you to do, for sure. And I would love for as many people as possible to do that, but they're not going to do that because of dumb crap like this. I mean, I didn't finish reading it yet, but we'll see if it's the normal thing. For the 15-year, that means my payment's going to be too high. And you know what that means? You can't afford that freaking house, but I know you want it. Whiny. Let's see. Let's see if that's it, though. But in this day and time, in this day and age, see, that part never matters. Okay, so first we got the comma. I know Dave says blah, 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 and you don't need to type anything after that. He says that, and that's the advice you should follow, but you don't have to. You can do your own dumb crap if you'd like to. But then everybody's got a little saying like, but in this day and time, which isn't even a saying, it's day and age is the saying, day and age. A lot of people mess that up too by saying day in age, and that's not it. People are nutty. And I mean, I know if you just hear it said by somebody, you could easily think it's day in age instead of day and age. But anyway, and it's an older saying, so the kids might not know it. Anyway, but in this day and time, that doesn't change anything. Oh, and another big one that we hear today is in this economy. In this economy, guess what? I've been hearing people say that crap on the Ramsey show since the 90s, when it was not on YouTube, it was on the radio. Still is on the radio, of course. But they said that crap back then. With this economy, stop blaming the fact that you don't make enough money and that you want stuff that you can't afford. Stop trying to say words that make that okay, because it's not going to happen. In this day and time, I find that to be unreasonable with housing prices. It's not. You're being unreasonable with what you want, which is a house that's too expensive. Also, that your mortgage payment be no more than 25% of your take-home pay. What do y'all consider to be the max that your mortgage payment needs to be? 30? 25. The advice is 25. Again, you can do whatever dumb crap you want to do. Go ahead. And you don't have to ask anybody. 142 comments. That's a pretty good one. And 142 comments without it being locked. So it must have not gotten too contentious in there. But no, this is just a person that wants to buy more house. Because guess what? Lives in the cost of living where this person lives is more than this person makes. So he lives in a higher cost of living area and doesn't have that higher cost of living salary. So sorry, you don't get a pass on math just because you want it. And your dumbass reasoning this day and time, I find it to be unreasonable with housing prices. No, guess what? The housing prices are going to be the housing prices. You have no control over that. You do control how much house you buy. And if you buy too much house, you're going to be house poor. And then that'll lead to problems. The least of which is taking a very long time or not at all finishing the baby steps, getting to step 7, having financial peace. Alrighty. VU versus FXAS starts with a F, so I believe that would be a Fidelity fund, and I think, whoops, why am I doing that? What did I say? VU versus FX. What was it? AIX. AIX. Alrighty. Should I buy into? Is it AI overview? VU Vanguard. See, it starts with the V there. S&P 500 ETF and FXAIX Fidelity 500 Index Fund are both excellent choices for investing in the S&P 500. They're the same thing. They both track the S&P 500. Okay, and they're just run at different brokerages. You're nutty, and I love people like this who I'm gonna go on the Dave Ramsey subreddit and ask instead of just Googling it. Do you think the Google's gonna lie to you? I don't get it. I'm new to investing. Someone hashtag mentioned. Was it my pal Matty Bags? I don't think he would mention that. Someone mentioned it's best to buy and hold VU in a taxable brokerage account. You do not do an extra brokerage account. You invest only in 15% of your gross household income into retirement, a tax advantage retirement account. And that's all the investing you do until you're on step 7, which means your mortgage is paid off. So you don't do a taxable brokerage account. So why would you hold one of these? Now, what the difference is in between them, where are we? Where are we here? That one. Yeah, so the VU being an exchange traded fund that you can do intraday trading. Like you can, that's like immediate, basically. And so that's your day trading type of thing. And so, but since you're holding it, I mean, you don't need it to be that since you are keeping it longer than one day or just a short time to try to make money off it. Since it's for your retirement, which is all you should be investing for, it doesn't matter which one, and they both track the exact same index. So you're nutty, sir or madam, again. Yeah, due to one being ETF and the other a mutual fund. Right, and that is the difference. The ETF, you get the price at exactly that time of day with the VU. And it's also best to do, I don't know what VTI is. Let's find out what the VTI is. But see, the idea is Mr. Ramsey also tells you to not do, that is the total stock market index. Okay. And so, and again, starting with the VTI, that is run by Vanguard. Oh, this is fun. I accidentally mistyped Fidelity. I'm not sure how I typed it. And when I mistyped it, guess who snatched that up? It was Vanguard. They snatched up the domain name of an incorrect spelling. Again, I don't know how exactly I spelled it, so I have no idea which one. But I would imagine they got a bunch of them. And then that takes you right to Vanguard's website. Of course, I'm already invested with Fidelity, so it's not like a thing where I'm going to go to Fidelity's website and start a investing account of some type there. And maybe I'll, oh, why did it take me to Vanguard's website? Oh, I'll just use Vanguard's instead. That's nutty thinking that. I'm sure some people do, though. So the good to buy boat, you would not do any index funds. That's a no. That's a no. His advice is to do managed mutual funds because there are managed mutual funds that beat the index. If you spend a little time trying to find one, you can find one. There are a lot of them. They are not that difficult to find. And if you say there's none, you're a liar. Let's see. So you know, the index funds, they're better than nothing for sure. And some people, I guess, are really afraid they'll screw up. But just like let's go. And I always say this too. You get some people that not only do index funds, but they do chess the S&P 500 index fund. And of course, by not having anything, they at least do another index fund based on the NASDAQ, because hey, look, NASDAQ to another high today. The NASDAQ is up to another high again today after setting one yesterday. And in the last 5 years, 96.87%, and the S&P 93.62. So that's not that much difference, but it's still more. And hey, guess what? My managed fund, my managed large cap fund, beats the NASDAQ all the time. So you're leaving money on the table by just putting yourself in a corner like that. But again, index funds better than nothing. If it's choice of index funds and nothing, knock yourself out, I guess. Still not advised. New favorite saying, being debt free is the new rich. Already read that, I think. Discombobulated use, 58. Car accident, finance or pay cash for vehicle. There's no finance. Finance is a no. That's part of baby step 0. You decide that you are going to pay off all your dumbass debt, and you're not going to take out any more ever again, except maybe for a mortgage on a house that you live in. Captain Buzz, maybe Captain Buzz 69. How to balance 69, dude. My wife 26 and I, 26 male, both 26, have been following the baby steps for coming up on a year now. Great. Hope you've been doing them correctly. And if not, you can listen to my song, How to Do the Baby Steps Right. And that walks you through all the dumb things people do just because they want to or because they misinterpret the baby steps or whatever. So that's all in that song. To give another... and that would have the Frey getting 0.00001 cent. And myself getting the 0.0001%. Actually, I don't remember. Some of the artists, they get all the money. Some of the artists split it with you. I don't know how that happens, but that's just the way it goes. Have managed to close the credit card, pay off our student loans and her car. Okay, it's all our debt now. We say we. It's our debt. Our car will be paid. But people love to differentiate and tell us. I mean, you could just tell us, paid off the student loans and car. We paid off the credit cards, or one of the. It says the credit card, so maybe they only had one. Pay off her student loans, or her car will be paid off in the next month. Only debt remaining is the truck at approximately $32,000. She, among others, is worried I'm too caught up in trying to get everything paid off as quick as possible and can't enjoy life. I'm not worried about that at all, because by financing a truck that expensive, guess what? You are already enjoying life too much, sir. She doesn't mean go off and spend money on some Caribbean cruise. But she believes we should at least go out and treat ourselves to a sit-down probably meal once a month, or have fun expenses outside of our normal day-to-day. You can have a little bit of fun money, but no, you're supposed to be gazelle intense in baby steps 1, 2, and 3. And this sounds a lot like baby step 2 to me. And let's check. Yeah, baby step 2. Yeah, your gazelle intense until step 3 is done, so you got a while longer. And when you do dumb crap like treating yourself to a sit-down meal once a month, I mean, if it's just once a month, it's not the end of the world. But the problem here is, again, I know people in general, and again, if you give them an inch, they take a mile. So this meal once a month is going to turn into a meal once a week, and have fun experiences outside of our normal day to day. Guess what? You can do fun things that are free, can't you? Yes, you can. I lean more towards that money can go towards the truck. Yeah, and that is the right idea on baby step 2. So you're doing it right. She's doing it wrong, I guess. Admit that I absolutely suck at something. Let's see what I suck at. At being fun. Okay, I've always been a shut up, go to work, go to sleep, wash, rinse, repeat kind of guy. Okay, I mean, I see where that could be kind of boring. As silly of a question as this may be, I'll throw it out there. How do I maintain a balance of still enjoying ourselves and having fun experiences without spending a ton of money? Well, okay, here's how. Let me explain to you how marriage works. First, you communicate effectively. And second, you do a thing called compromise. I always bring up Stranger Things. Hopper explained to 11 what a compromise was, and he explained it by saying halfway happy. So neither of them got the entire thing that they wanted, but they did come into agreement, so they were halfway happy. And you have to do that in marriages, and your compromise even trumps the baby steps. That being said, the baby steps and being 100% gazelle intense, outside of a couple bucks for fun money, and again, that's a compromise too. That's whatever amount you put as fun money for you guys. But you're supposed to be gazelle intense all the way through baby step 3 until that one is done. And then when you're on baby step 4, knock yourself out with the going out. You don't do it like crazy, because guess what? You still got steps 4, 5, and 6 to take care of. Oh, how do you go out and maintain a balance of still enjoying ourselves? And yeah, you do a compromise on that. So it's not gonna be, so she's not gonna be happy because it's not gonna be as much money as she wants to spend. And you're not gonna be happy because it's not gonna be as gazelle intense as you want to be. So, but that, that might keep your marriage together and allow you to also make progress on the baby steps, although not as much or as fast as it would be if you maintain the gazelle intensity. So, but yeah, a lot of people that are married got married for a reason, and they want to stay married, and so you got to compromise, dog. Knockbox. Just wondering if anyone has purchased the knockbox and found it useful and worth the cost. I don't know what that is. I'm not gonna look it up either. Do Froyo 7119. When to storm mode, the OBBBA is cutting the GAO's budget by about 50%. Takes effect January 1st, 2026. Office of Budgeting but let's see, budgeting bombastic averageness, I don't know, whatever, or spending allocation, maybe, I don't know what that is. I don't know what GAO means either. My spouse is an employee of the office, and I'm wondering when we should start preparing for a probability of a job loss. Now, question mark, baby step 2. Maybe. Let me ask you this. Is the GAO? All right, I'll look up, see what it is. Is the GAO necessary? Because guess what? There's a lot of crap that the government does that's 100% not necessary. Government Accountability Office. Really? Okay. Investigates federal spending and performance. Okay. And who is doing that? Because it doesn't sound like you need that many different bodies doing this. Let's see. OBBBA. OBBBA. All. Oh, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's being replaced by the DOGE, by the Department of Government Efficiency. Maybe it's going to be replaced by that. So maybe it's kind of cutting the budget to do that. I don't know. But who knows? What you can do is, if you don't like it, and if you think your spouse is not going to be employed there anymore, you can start looking for another job now. But you don't storm mode. Why would you storm mode? No need to storm mode until you... Here's how it works. You have to have 51% at least, 51% certainty that that's going to happen. So general worry is not ever a like you would never do call it's time for storm mode due to the in this time and age, or whatever the guy said, or in today's economy, or from anything you heard on the news the previous night. None of that. Just general worry is not a reason to go into storm mode. It has to have some meat behind it. And so you gotta again, be, Mr. Ramsey says, you gotta be at least 51% positive you're gonna lose your job. And a lot of people have a problem with this, but be honest with yourself on that as well. Because a lot of people will do just what they want to do. If they want to do storm mode, they'll say, yeah, I think it's 51%, even though they really don't. And actually give it some thought and see if it really is that much. Or do some other research on it. You can ask your bosses about that. And see, and maybe they even made a statement about it. Who knows? Who knows? Jebac. JEBAC 46. I think my phone is ruining my life. What jobs don't revolve around being on it 24/7? Most of them? What you talking about, Willis? You don't have to be on your phone 24/7 for probably even 25% of the jobs. Let's see. I've come to pretty serious realization. My phone is wrecking my mental health. Constant notifications, emails, texts, group chats. Oh, it's nonstop. Oh, well, if your company keeps, your company does, communications that way, and you have to keep up on all the, communications. I mean, I would look into cutting out some, if you have a balance of not balance, if you have a way / permission to cut the notifications out that like don't concern your department, that kind of thing, you could get out of that. Now, an email, who is emailing you all the time? Again, maybe you could filter some of those out, possibly. The text as well. I mean, I get email, and if your email comes to your phone, that's a different thing than somebody texting you. Somebody texting you actually has your phone number, or a relay thing. Currently in logistics, and my phone is basically my entire job. Yeah, oh yeah, logistics is gonna be, right? I used to think that being on the phone all day was a step up from physical labor, but I was wrong. Oh, sleepy. Excuse me. So much work. Back when I worked construction, I barely touched my phone during the day, and honestly, to be honest, you don't have to put an honestly in there. You can just be honest. I would have believed you. I felt way more confident, grounded, and happy. Now the anxiety and pressure from always being reachable is messing with me. Get a different job then. Has anyone here made a similar switch away from phone-heavy jobs with careers? I never had one. The phone, I mean, they would call the computer repair office phone, and I had to answer that all day. But not constant things on my personal phone. What careers or trade allowed you to do just to work with? Most of them, except something like logistics, where you got to be in so much communication with everybody. Because guess what? That's what logistics is. Logistics is working out the, like trucking and so forth. You're going to be talking to trucking. You're going to be talking to, truck owners or tractor trailer owners or something, that rent them out or even sell them or something like that. Making up a bunch of stuff now, but I believe probably a lot of them are not like where you got to be on your phone 24/7. But I bet the kids would love it because they're already on their phone 24/7. But it's not watching cat videos or other dumb stuff. So they might not like it. Lady Pearl 81, baby steps and kids experience FPU graduates with kids. How did you explain the shift in lifestyle starting the system and throughout? Any kid age group is helpful. I have a 14-month-old girl and a 14-year-old boy. Mid-teenagers like that would have no problem understanding almost all, probably, of Total Money Makeover book. Mr. Ramsey uses simple words, simple language to explain everything. And of course, you're a FPU graduate, so you could explain anything that they couldn't understand. But they ought to be able to handle that. Now, the 14-month-old girl, I say you let her be a princess or whatever she wants to be. For the foreseeable future until she gets older. But like you can start, immediately you can start reinforcing the work equals money thing by, you give them a little bit of allowance. And Mr. Ramsey's spiel here on that is basically a really little kid. You're going to say, okay, you have to clean up your room. And so he said, and let's be honest, the adult is going to be the one that does most of the cleaning up. But like by just doing it together and being involved, you're setting that in motion, and you're setting that example of that's how that happens. And so hopefully they put that together with me clean room, then I get money. So I do something and then I get money, that kind of thing. But I would let her just let her be a kid for a little while. But like good role modeling like that, and like having her clean her room. that kind of thing, or help, as soon as maybe not dishes yet, especially not the good china or plateware or whatever is in and happening these days. Um, yeah, when she gets old enough to handle that without dropping it, she can put the dishes, load the dishwasher, that kind of thing. And so that's what it would be for there. But they also have some kid products in the Ramsey Solutions store as well. So, but most of it is going to be you being a good role model for her. And that's a big Rachel Cruz thing. Her line on that is more is caught than taught, meaning that the stuff that you do that the kids see is going to make more of an impact than you saying, hey, this is how it is. So that's the dealio on that. But the shift in lifestyle is starting the system. But if you're past that. If you're experienced FPU graduates and now you have kids, you're not making that shift. You're already there. And hopefully, and even with the 14-year-old boy, the 14-year-old boy can't take out debt. And so since you've already been through it, theoretically, it doesn't say what step they're on. And so that may, if they're like still in step 2, though, then it is affecting their life right now. But if you already did it and got to step 4, 5, and 6, you don't have to explain it necessarily, and they won't need to know about it if they're taught and buy into the no debt thing. Because then they don't ever have to do step 2, which is probably the best baby step to be able to get. International Cut, 1908, paid off the house today. Congratulations. I have no one else to really share with. We don't share anything personal with friends or family. That's wise in a lot of cases because people react in crazy ways when you tell them you've done something that to the normal people of the world, that is pretty crazy. Following the Ramsey advice is crazy to them. We are the weird ones. All of them who would react negatively to it, they're the normal ones. And some of them get mad when you tell them you've paid off all your debt. And especially when you say, I've also paid off my house. And the problem is when you tell them that you've done it, that means they don't have a freaking excuse for not doing it. So they get mad about that. Because you make them feel bad. They're in their feelings, as the kids say. So figured maybe I would post here today. We paid off our last $93,000 on the mortgage this morning. And of course, it's great that you have fixed the situation now. Or maybe it was some inherited thing or something, or some windfall that just came in. But you would not have $93,000 extra in savings past the emergency fund if you still had a house payment. So I'm guessing doing it wrong, made it right now, fixed it, but before not doing it right. Oddly enough, I'm not excited like I thought I would be. Maybe it hasn't hit yet. Yeah. You might feel it coming up on the 1st when you don't have to pay a mortgage payment, or middle of the month whenever you had to pay the mortgage payment. You might feel it that way. It might be because you can't tell any family or friends, and so maybe that's harshing your mellow, bruh. It's like a Pauly Shore thing, I think, from back in the day, 90s. Duck Hunter, 55, 56, we just inherited 350K. Would I be stupid to put 80 to 120K into retirement? Not necessarily, but you would look at what baby steps you're on and you would apply that money to the baby steps and take it. So, for example, if you're already investing 15%, you don't do more investing. If you have a mortgage, you would pay off that mortgage. So let's see. Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, my mother passed away last year. My condolences. My wife and I have spent the last year going through her estate. We're getting close to selling our condo and come this fall. Oh, come the fall. Okay, so it's upcoming. So you didn't inherit it yet, I guess. Well, kind of. It just has to go. It just has to do the sale. We'll be at about 350K liquid from the estate and 61K liquid from our own savings. Okay. Off the top, we have to spend $25,000 of the estate to the IRS and a Medicaid lien because she owed money. The state wants some money back. Yes, that is how that works. So that is the deal with people leaving something to somebody. If, for example, you want to leave something to your kids, what happens first is anything that you owe goes out first. So any debt that you owe comes out first. Like, for example, you can't give them $1 million house while you owe $500,000 on something else. The house would be for sale, and then the children, the heirs, might get the remaining balance after the debt was paid off. But so it depends on what baby step you're on. Let's open it because it's a lot. No, not that much. Then after that, I'd like to spend another 25K on our student loans to pay them off. That's not spending it. That's applying it to the baby steps, which is the exact thing you should do. Yes. And guess what? Then any other step 2 debt you have. And then, oh, I don't know. It sounds suspiciously like the baby steps. You use it for all your non-mortgage debt. And then you use it for, you already have you said you already have savings, which you should not if you have step 2 debt. So that means another person that, imagine that, you're doing it wrong. And then step 4 for investing. And if you're already investing, I mean, basically, if this is all happening in one fell swoop, so you actually don't have to stop investing since you weren't following the Ramsey advice before and you should have stopped it. But now that you have the money, you don't have to stop it. Save for kid college if that's applicable, however much you want to do, and then pay off the mortgage early. And only in step 7 would you do this extra investing that you're talking about. Then we would effectively have no debt. What is effectively? Why is that effectively? How about then we would have no debt? What's this effectively crap? And no assets besides our 2 inexpensive vehicles. If they're not financed, if they are financed, that's debt. So I don't know what effectively have no debt means. Maybe it's incorrect usage. People are nutty of the word effectively, just thrown in there to be like a little collegey word or something, when it doesn't actually apply. So maybe it just means then we would have no debt. So it's sus though. So I'm wondering what the situation is there, if they do actually have other non-mortgage debt. I currently have a retirement between my company match 401k, Roth, and individual brokerage account worth $96K. Yeah, you would only be putting 15% of gross annual income into that. So that's a no on that, while you still have a mortgage. If I was a 401k and Roth totaling 40K, we additionally have 1,100 worth of Ethereum, so that's a no. Not advised. The advice would be to sell that and apply that money to the baby steps or invest it otherwise. We both just turned 26, still babies. I believe we're in pretty good shape. Yeah, you got 30 more years in the market. You'll be great. if you follow the baby steps completely and don't have any more debt and pay off your house, if you have one, let's see. After paying off our debts, what's the other debt? So you didn't say what the other debt is. So it's weird the way you're doing that. Then we would effectively have no debt. Anyway, after paying off debt, we have roughly 310K to our names. I would like to put 150K aside for a down payment for a house. Okay, they don't have one. Okay, so fine. Yeah. No, you would put all of it to that. You would pay off all of your non-mortgage debt. Okay, you'd pay all of your non-mortgage debt, and that's step 2. And then you would make sure that you keep of your savings, not throw whatever over savings that you've been doing incorrectly. Might I add to you? Incorrect. You're doing it wrong. But you would keep whatever portion of that you need to call your 6-month emergency fund, full emergency fund. And then you're already investing, but it should be until your house is paid off, and you are going to buy one. So this still applies to you. You should be doing 15%, and it doesn't have to be some big chunk. You can just start right now. I mean, you already started investing, so it should be 15% out of every paycheck. That kind of thing. And so you can continue doing that or up it to 15 if it's not 15, or if it's over 15, lower it to 15. And then address kid college if you have kids, and then you want to help them. But then once you finish step 3, here's where you would save the down payment for a house. And so that would be everything. You would put everything down on the house. Everything. And get that mortgage really, really low and pay that off as fast as you can. People are nutty though, because they want to like out earn the interest or something on the property. Blah, 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 blah. You know how they do. They want to financial bro it. So that would be a no on that. Okay, so you wouldn't put 150K aside for your down payment. You would put it all on the down payment without doing house more important than extra saving. Now you would only do that in step 7, and you have to have a paid off house to be in step 7. So that should explain it to you and put it into terms you can understand. The term that you need to understand here is no. Then I would like to take 80 to 20K in our retirement. I guess I would have to put it in our individual brokerage account. Besides, yeah, you don't know. There's no individual brokerage account. No, you put 15% into tax advantage retirement accounts, and that's freaking it until your house is paid off. Now, if you were going to be a lifelong renter, fine, but you just said you're going to put some aside to be a down payment on the house. No, you put all of it. All of it, which is 310K. And I got a great idea. I have a fabulous idea. You're not going to believe this, everybody. Keep your freaking house amount to 310K. You don't need a bigger house than that, or a more expensive house than that. You do not need it. So then you actually would be in step 7. So I got a great idea. Then with the mortgage payment or rent payment that you don't have to pay, then you can invest that in your freaking individual brokerage account that you're so excited about. People are nuts, man. Besides the 14K to max out our routes for the year, is that the best way to do it? No. I don't know if you've heard of Dave Ramsey. Oh, wait, you have, because you're on the frickin' Dave Ramsey subreddit. How about you follow his advice? Have any of you put large sums on your retirement at once? No. That would put us at over 200K in our retirement before 27. Yeah, I know you're all excited about that, and you've done the math. I got a great idea. Be excited about following proven advice instead of just letting the calculator rule you. I'm also loosely interested in purchasing a rental property down the road to bring in more income. No, no, and no. Here's how this works. You put your freaking money, all of it, onto the house, and you buy a house completely with that. That puts you on step 7. And if you want to be a landlord, at that point, you start saving money to purchase it completely in cash. Okay? So you wouldn't be, it wouldn't be calling it stupid to put 80 to 220K into retirement, because obviously that's not blowing the money, but that is not the Ramsey advice here. And you want to buy a house, so the idea is to get that mortgage as low as possible, and no mortgage at all is the actual Ramsey advice. Now you realize not everybody can do that. Not everybody is getting a $350,000 freaking inheritance. And so they all can't do that. So that's why he lets you get the mortgage on the house that you live in only. No mortgages on rental property. Yeah. Alrighty. Oh my goodness, 9:07 already. I'm Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you, yes, you would like to set an appointment with me for a consultation assessment, if you got money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can do that by emailing me, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can also use that email address for anything on my YouTube channel, any financial questions or financial coaching questions at all. Again, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney or a Walmart gift card. It's that same email. Like the email address doesn't change. It's always going to be coachstevemoney@gmail.com. And the upcoming streams, again, I had said I was going to do a Ramsey show, after show on Monday. That was yesterday, and that did not happen, and it's still here mocking me. And so it's not going to be Monday and Wednesday, the 14th and 16th. This week is just going to be the 16th. That's just the way my work schedule happened this week. So tomorrow morning, Wednesday, the 16th is going to be the only after show this week. But the Answering Your Financial Questions streams, this is the... What did that say? Did that say Tuesday and Thursday? Whoops, hit the wrong thing. Oh, I guess that didn't help. That'll restart it. Anyway. Okay, so it is... Oh, so also I just started another playthrough of The Last of Us. They put out a Last of Us Part 2, my favorite video game. They put out a free update for the remastered version, which I have on PC. And it allows you to play the game. There's a ton of flashbacks in it, etc., and it allows you to play the game in chronological order, which is pretty cool. Probably not the best way to experience the story at first, but it is pretty cool. So again, the only after show will be tomorrow morning on the 16th of July, which is Wednesday morning. The Ramsey show itself is 9 a.m. on the YouTube Eastern Time. And yes, Tuesday, that is today. And so yes, we're having that one. And the next one is Thursday, July 15th and 17th. So that would be what? Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday? I think that's what it is. Anyway, roll your screen back and pause it and you'll figure it out. Or just we'll discuss it on tomorrow's after show. I'm sure I'll do these plugs again. And I think that's it. Yeah, again, I'll probably be starting my second stream of that, continuing the chronological playthrough of Last of Us Part 2. Probably between, what time is it now? 10, probably between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, probably closer to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And so look for that if you are so inclined on that. And that will be not a set schedule. That'll be whenever I have time to do that. And I have time to do that. And I'm off work tomorrow. So that's why there's going to be an after show. Alrighty, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.